In today's video, we're uncovering the mysterious and brutal tale of Kheron Ophion, captain of the Night Lord's 39th Company. Known for his defiant courage in a legion that thrived on fear and terror, Ophion was a rare anomaly among his brothers. His fate, however, remains shrouded in darkness. After a devastating ambush, Ophion vanished, his ship crashing onto the surface of Kalleth. Was this the end of the so-called coward? Or did something far more sinister happen in the shadows of the Nostramo sector? Join me as we explore Ophion's rise from the grim streets of Nostramo and dig into the unsolved mystery of his final days. What truly became of Kheron Ophion may never be known, but his legacy endures, hidden in the dark, like the Night Lords themselves. Kheron Ophion was born on the planet Nostramo, a place infamous for its overwhelming darkness, both literally and figuratively. It was a crime-infested world where the strong preyed on the weak, and life was cheap. From these brutal beginnings, Ophion rose from the gutter to become a legionary of the Night Lords. He, like many others from Nostramo, was shaped by its bleakness, but Ophion stood out for one important reason: his bravery. And not just any bravery, but a type of defiant courage that seemed out of place among the Night Lords, a legion that thrived on fear and terror. His first command, the Killing Whisper, would be a critical moment in his early career. The ship was destroyed during a battle over Pragus, where Ophion chose to stand his ground against an entire Fraal conclave while the rest of the fleet retreated. The cost was immense, but this reckless act earned him both shame and honor. In a twisted act of recognition, the praetor of his fleet had fragments of the Killing Whisper's hull forged into a combat shield called the Bloody Aegis. This brutish weapon was as much a reminder of his failure as it was a trophy of his defiance. Imagine carrying a symbol of both your greatest shame and your boldest moment into every battle. That was the dichotomy of Kheron Ophion. But here's where Ophion's story takes an even more ironic turn. Despite his undeniable courage, he was mocked with the nickname the Coward by his brothers. The Night Lords weren't known for heroism. They valued terror and psychological warfare above all else. To them, Ophion's bravery was a flaw, an aberration. His actions stood in stark contrast to the ideals of his legion, and so they scorned him for it. Yet, in a way, this dark joke became his armor. The name was meant as an insult, but it also highlighted his defiance of the legion's norms. To survive as long as he did, in a legion that despised courage, is a testament to Ophion's complex character. He didn't fit neatly into the mold of the Night Lords, and that's what makes his story so fascinating. By the time of the Horus Heresy, Ophion had already served the Night Lords for nearly 70 years. His pivotal role came during the Thramas Crusade, a brutal conflict between the Night Lords and the Dark Angels. After a disastrous ambush by the Dark Angels, Ophion was promoted to the Chiroptera, the ruling body of the Night Lords, by none other than First Captain Jago Savatarion. Ophion's moment to shine came during a counterattack against the Dark Angel's flagship, the Invincible Reason. As the Loyalist forces pressed their advantage, it was Ophion's ship, Shroud of Eventide, that held the line, buying his legion time to retreat and regroup. His command during this battle demonstrated not only his loyalty, but also his tactical brilliance, a stark contrast to his reputation as the Coward. In a legion that preferred terror over open battle, Ophion's determination to stand and fight was nothing short of extraordinary. Following the events of the Thramas Crusade, Ophion sought to rally the scattered Night Lords. He led a force of 9,000 legionaries back to the Nostramo sector, hoping to bring unity to the remnants of his fractured legion. But this final campaign would end in disaster. In the 31st millennium, an advanced squadron of his fleet was ambushed by a group calling themselves the Ashen Claws over the planet Kalleth. Although the Ashen Claws were eventually forced to retreat, The damage to Ophion's ship, Shroud of Eventide, was catastrophic. The ship crashed onto the planet's surface, and Kheron Ophion was presumed dead. His body never recovered. With Ophion lost, the sector descended back into chaos, with many of his surviving brothers turning on one another in the ensuing power vacuum. Kheron Ophion's story is one of contradictions: bravery in the face of overwhelming odds, scorn from his own legion for embodying a trait they despised, and ultimately a tragic disappearance that left his fate a mystery. Yet his name endures. He stands as a symbol of defiance, a reminder that even in the cruelest of worlds, courage can sometimes be its own punishment. In the end, was Kheron Ophion truly a coward, or did he possess a courage that his brothers simply couldn't understand? That's for you to decide.